Друзья, было супер сложно. Мы таки добрались до Уфы. И сегодня у нас мини-интервью с основателем Академии Джеффа Монсона, с Джеффом Монсоном. Jeff, thank you for having me here in Ufa. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start with a really tough one. What achievement in your sports career do you value the most?
That's hard because, like honestly, I look at I think about the disappointments more like almost every day, or like if several times a week. I think about some big fight I lost or some tournament I didn't win. So, I mean, of course, winning the world championship of Abu-Dhabi is probably like the biggest achievement. But I think about like the MMA losses more than anything else.
Okay. Talking about Abu Dhabi, first of all, how do you go there? How do you how do you participate in this tournament?
Well, now when I first participated, like a long time ago, I got invited just because my coach, Matt Hume, he had participated in it and took second place, and he was well known around the world, and he knew the sheikh, and he talked to the sheikh and said, I want to bring a team. So he brought a team, and I was the light heavyweight on the team. So that's how I got invited. And then after I won, the first time I went, I won. So after that, if you're a champion, you always can go back. Now they have now they have invites for like champions of, guys who are like winning Naga, winning like European championships, winning like these tournaments. They get invites. Or they have qualifiers. Like they have a qualifier in the United States, they have a qualifier in Europe, they had one in Asia. They have different qualifiers that if you win, you also get invited. And then all, of course, the past champions who want to come back get invited. So it's hard to get in now. It's hard to get
Okay.
back.
Another one about ADCC. Who was the toughest opponent you've had?
Well, I mean, I think Fabricio Verdum was really tough. He's difficult. We faced off twice, and yeah, he might have been. I mean, I had so many tough guys in the tournament, but I think he probably stands out. He improved a lot. The first time I fought him, and then I fought him again. He got like bigger and stronger. He was more aggressive, so he was better. So I'd say Fabricio Verdum was one of the toughest
So
guy.
was that the strength or the technique or the bustle or
Man,
everything?
at that level, it's everything. Everything counts because you can have. I mean, the second year, no, third year I went. I fought Mark Robinson in the finals, and he was like a strongman world champion or a South African strongman champion. But he knew basic technique, but probably not even black belt level technique. But he was probably like below that, brown, purple. But he was just so strong and so heavy. He was 200 and probably 40 kilos at least, and super strong. So that was difficult. So he had the strength, but like as it got the technique got progress the tournament got progressively tougher. Like tougher guys started to he couldn't like win anymore because he didn't have the technique. So like strength and strength conditioning and technique are all like really important.
Okay, so how much time of submission grappling it took you to conquer ADCC?
Well, like honestly, the when I won the championship the first time, and I was arguably maybe my most difficult tournament because I had like Saulo Ribeiro, I had like Higa Machado. He was a world champion, Saulo ADC champion, world champion. I had another my in the quarterfinals. I had another ADC champion. So I was like boom, 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 boom. But I only had been doing like submission wrestling maybe like less than a year.
Wow.
But I'd been wrestling for a long time, since high school. So I had that, and then, but I just had a perfect plan. I had Matt Hume, and he showed me, like, do this, status submissions, do takedowns. I'll show you one pass, a pressure pass. And so I went there like with a really simple formula, like take people down and do this like pressure pass, always be in good position. And so that kind of fun of a story is like I won the tournament and I beat Solo in the final, like 5-time world champion, and I was nobody, and I beat him in the final. And so the next day, the Sheik invited all the participants for dinner on his boat, and then we went to his palace, and we all like hung out. And then he had beautiful mat room, like beautiful, gold chandeliers, gold toilet seats. It was crazy. And we all rolled the next day after the tournament, like all the guys, all the lightweights, the mediumweights, the heavyweights, so we all just rolled like for fun, like learning, like, doing goes. And I just got killed. I got killed by like everybody. And like about 3/4 of the way through it, one of the guys came to me. He's like, Jeff, what happened? Like yesterday you champion of the world. Today, little guys are like smashing you, not beating you, smashing you. I said, what happened? I said, yesterday I had to win. Yesterday I had a game plan. Today I'm learning. Today I'm rolling. I'm trying. I'm not like letting them beat me. I'm trying my best, but I'm trying new positions. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to they're better grapplers than me. I've been doing this maybe 1 year. They've been doing this since they've been 5 years old. They're better than me. For sure, they're better than me. If we roll, they're going to beat me every time. But if we do a match for 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 20-minute match, and I have to win, I'm going to do a game plan. I'm going to do 2 or 3 positions. I'm not going to let them do nothing to me. I'm going to play good defense, and I think I'm going to win. But if we're going to roll and try different positions, they're going to beat me every time. So that's how I won the first time. And then later, when I went back and won again and placed and did this stuff, then like I was actually much, much better at jiu-jitsu later on. But I just had a great game plan and was like had the perfect game plan, the perfect idea of what to do that first time.
Okay, first of all, I'm not sure that many people do really understand how cool it is because 1 year of experience at submission grappling, and then you go and win ADCC, the most prestigious tournament in the world. That's insane, and that makes me think of some similarities with Nicky Rodriguez from B team now,
Yeah.
because he used to be called the black belt slayer,
Yeah.
because he was probably the brown belt when he almost destroyed the division in ADCC. What do you think of new grapplers like Nicky Rod and other guys like Gordon Ryan? What are your thoughts on them?
Well, like quite honestly, like jiu-jitsu, like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, we first saw in like UFC 1, where the world first saw this, is grown so exponentially, and the technique is so much different. Like when I did ADCC, even the last time I did ADCC till now, what we're seeing like with Gordon Ryan and the new guy, it's a different game. It's the same sport, but they've like really worked on, John Donaher and these guys have just found a new way of doing the sport. And at some point, something else is going to develop, because it's always growing and growing and growing. And there's going to be a good defense to that system, the John Donaher system, what Gordon Ryan's doing. And someone's going to figure out a way to best that system, and then somebody's going to find a way to best that system, and it's going to keep growing and growing, because the sport is pretty new. So really, I have a lot of respect for these new guys, because really, if they were competing the same time I was competing, it'd be very difficult to win for me and some of the older guys, because the technique's so different. They figure out a way to best that. But it's a different era. So it's a different era. Like if I was 27 years old again and learning it, I would obviously like have a little bit different technique or taking a different approach to it. So I don't know what the result would be, but you know, it's always growing. These guys have taken it to a new level, so I have, you know, a lot of respect for them.
Okay. Why do you think not so much guys from Russia do participate in ADCC?
It just didn't get the notoriety. You know, I just think I think in 1998 there was a guy from Russia that he won ADCC.
Only one guy, yeah.
Yeah, one guy. But it was actually before in 1998. It's still ADC, still World Championship, but it was really before the best guys went. It was like the winners were. Some of the winners were in divisions like with not so well-known guys, and then I think 1999, like it just jumped up exponentially, like much difficult, and every year it's getting more difficult, more difficult, more difficult. But Russia, it's just not that well known. I mean, when I came to Russia, like first time 12, 13 years ago, and 12 years ago, and started enrolling with guys, you know, training and showing seminars, I was like, "Chai, these are like this is like the best country in the world for wrestling, for sure. The best country in the world for sambo, for sure. They have pretty good judo, and like the submission wrestling at that time was really like low level. Just in the you know 12 years or whatever since I've been coming here, it's gone up a lot. Now at the UWW, a World Championship, most of the guys who are winning are from Russia. Russia's team is the best. I just think the ADCC just haven't got enough exposure here. And you know, my goal really is for my school to have like a ADC champion from Russia. That's like my goal. I want to like develop some champions. You know, I'm sure for sure we can do UWW, but I want to get like the big one, the Abu-Dabi champion from my school, from, you know, representing Russia, because I think if some high-level wrestlers from Russia were to jump into doing submission grappling, I think, and had good coaching, I think it would be like just inevitable that the champions of ADCC, more champions of like the no-gi grappling world championship would be coming from Russia. Absolutely.
What do you think about John Danaher as a coach?
Well, you know, I was just thinking about this question today, and not because I interviewed. I was just thinking about someone. I just saw someone asking about John Danaher. Is this a similar, like my MMA fighter, like joined his squad? He's a good coach because I subscribe to his like YouTube channel, and I watch his videos, and I listen to what he says. Like even just as importantly, I read what he says about it, and he has a really good intuitive idea of how like body placement and strategy and the overall like goal and like the game itself. Like everybody's got a different game. Like I have a different game than, you know, this guy, or this guy's got Gordon Ryan's got a different game than this guy. So he's able to like evaluate and figure out what parts of the game are advantageous in different situations. So he's really intelligent. Like when it comes to this like sport intelligence, grappling intelligence, he's really got a Q on. He knows exactly what he's talking about. So like I learned from him, and you know, sometimes I like had like, oh yeah, I know that, and like I use that, but I didn't really know how to describe it, and then he describes it, or he's able to articulate it in a really good way. So you know, I think he's a great coach. I never met him personally. I just think, you know, he really knows his stuff. He's a great coach. I don't know how he is as a person, or like a like coach in a match, but as far as like the training and teaching guys, I think he's like one of the best, if not the best.
Okay, Joe Rogan once said about him that he's like the movie character because no one is as dedicated as John Danaher, you know,
Yeah.
because He looks like a movie character a little bit.
Yeah, he looks like the movie character a little bit. Yeah, I mean that's his life. I mean, he's made his like if we hear John Danaher, like it's not like, oh yeah, he does this and he does this and he's no, it's like he's this superstar grappling coach that's the coach of these champions, like and he's got techniques and show stuff that's like revolutionary. That's
Yeah, and visiting interviews like Joe Rogan in a rush guard. I mean, you're in
Yeah.
a rush guard too, but we just had a training session.
Yeah,
and he just
yeah,
keep,
that's his life.
yeah,
That's his life.
that's so cool. Okay, the last one question about ADCC. If I remember that correctly, the nickname Snowman came from ADCC from some
Yeah.
Brazilian guys, right?
Yeah, so it was my first time, like we was talking about. So, you know, like I'm this white guy coming from America, and all the winners at that point, in the first year I was there were pretty much all Brazilian guys. You know, because that second year, the 1999, was a really tough tournament, and all the tough guys in my way were, you know, every match I had was with a Brazilian guy. Like all 4 matches were Brazilian guys, and so I won the first one, okay, and then I won the second one, and then I beat. Machado, and they're like, oh fuck, who's this guy? There's like, and like every match I got a little better, you know. First match, and I was fighting tougher guys every time too. And he was like, who's this guy? And he's like, he's a white ball of like getting, you know, when you make a snowman, you start with a ball and you roll it and it gets bigger, 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 bigger. So he's like a white ball getting bigger, bigger, like getting more confident, getting more, you know. By the finals match, I was like really thinking I'm gonna win. Like before, I was like, man, I'm at the World Championships. You know, I never won like I had only been in grappling a year and only been to little tournaments in the USA and won these little amateur tournaments. You know, nothing big. I did wrestling before, didn't win the university championship. You know, did good, but not the top level. And never went to World Championship. Never did nothing like really, really good, like outside my own little area. So nobody knew who I was. So it was like why is this guy here? And then all of a sudden he's winning. So I was like a white ball getting bigger, like a snowman. So
Okay, got that. All right. We ended here on ADCC. Now I wanted to ask you some dumb questions like, what is better, sambo or judo?
I mean, like for better, like I mean, it's better to know sambo if you're in a fight, because sambo, like you know, it's like punching and kicking and some grappling and stuff, which is a more difficult sport, I think, judo, because I did both. I did a little bit of sambo, but I did judo for 2 years, and I hurt my back. It's very like it's so quick and like even the training's hard. So as far as like not so good for your body and more difficult and hard, like I think judo is more difficult.
Okay, so sambo is better, but judo is more difficult. Which sport is better, sambo or Brazilian jiu-jitsu?
Well, I think in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I think
Okay.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu can pretty much beat any like head to head. If you have the best here and the best here, I think eventually Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy gonna win probably. If the other guy doesn't know nothing and this guy only knows Brazilian jiu-jitsu, this guy only knows this other sport, I think eventually Brazilian jiu-jitsu gonna win.
Okay, some top guys from Brazilian jiu-jitsu and grappling think that the gi is dead or going to be dead in a few
Yeah.
years. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't think so. Like I personally, I don't like the gi because it's a different sport. We're like fighting with the gi. I'm not as good at it, so I don't like it. But it's a different sport, and you have different techniques and different, you know, obviously being strong and big and stuff isn't as important if you have a gi on because you can counter it. But it won't die. It maybe, and right now you're seeing like no gi. You're seeing the Gordon Ryan. You're seeing like the UFC, the popularity of, you know, like submission stuff and fighting and stuff like that. Like you don't need a gi. So like the gi is, yeah, it's going down, down, down. But there's going to be a resurgence for like in everything. Just like wearing clothes. Just like the hairstyles, the clothing styles. They're gone, and then in 10 years or whatever years, somebody starts again, it's a trend, and then it starts coming back. So I think the gi will be down for a while, and then you'll have some world champion, like in a gi, and killing everybody, and then showing the techniques in the gi, and then people, some young guys will get excited about it and start training it, and then it'll make a comeback, and it'll be like all of a sudden it'll be like the gi is cool again. So it won't die.
Okay, got that. And the last block of questions is all about the techniques. What do you think are the main techniques for the white belt?
The white belt needs to learn the principles, and the principles of being on bottom is you're never flat. You have to be like a ball, and you never want to be on your back. You always want to be attacking. You always want to be attacking, not flat. And you always need underhooks. You need your arm under his arms, and never let him go under your arms when you're on bottom, or you're finished. So, and you can't lay there and look for. You got to use your whole body all the time. If you're flat and you're only using your legs trying for triangles, if you're only using your arms trying to like hold them tight to you, it's not going to be successful. You got to be like a ball. You got to use your whole body, and on top. And you want distance. You want, on the bottom, you want to create distance so you can have room to attack. On the top, it's just the opposite. You want to keep him flat. You don't want him to be a ball. You want the underhooks. You don't want to be on your knees. You want all your weight on him. You always want to pressure him. You want him to carry your weight all the time. And you want to be floating. You want to be tight, 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 tight. No space, no space, no space. And you want to be close, be close, be close. And same thing as on bottom. You want to be the attacker, not let him attack you.
So the same question for the blue belt. What are the best techniques, the most valuable techniques in the blue belt?
I mean, I don't know that they're like getting better at the principles is like the best. Like on top, you got to have your weight on them. You got to have your weight on them, and you have to pressure. When you start getting in the higher belts, the blue belts, the purple belts, then I start teaching attacking the head. When I'm on top, like I attack the head. A lot of people don't teach attacking the head, and I don't know why. They teach attacking the hips. You want to control the hips. That's important, the most important. But like when he's, if you've controlled his head, you've controlled his whole body. He can't do nothing. And so, like blue belt, purple. Like when you get higher belts, I start teaching, especially on top, crowd, no space, and attack the head.
Okay. So I've got the idea, so I obviously won't ask you about the purple belt and the brown and black belt. So let me ask you this. Which system is, in your opinion, better? The belt system or the system like we have it here in Russia, when you have the master of sports and other stuff?
Well, I mean, I like belt because I don't even understand the master like. And I'm not joking when I say every day of my life, when I'm walking on the street or when people take photos with me at the mall, whatever, somebody inevitably will say, I was master of sport of some sport, master of sport of swimming, master of sport of sambo, master of sport of something. Master sport, and to me, it doesn't mean I don't know what it means. So I mean, it could be a good system, and I know it's not easy to get, but it seems like everybody is a master of sport of something. So I don't know. I know in jiu-jitsu, the belt system. I know in my opinion, the belt system, like for taekwondo in America, I can't say about here, is a joke because you put in your time, you learn your kata, and they give you a belt and pay the money. They'll do that, you get into the belt, and it's expensive, and you have like 12-year-old kids who are black belts that couldn't fight anybody. They only know how to do kata, and like they don't know how to self-defense, but they're like black belts, so I think it's a joke. But on my team, America Top Team, it's very, very difficult to get like a purple belt. If I remember, like when I was in West Palm Beach, and my friend Shark, he's got American Top Team School, and I roll with his best purple belt, and if I don't have my good game on and I'm not I'm not really trying, he's smashing me. He's killing me. Like I have to be really ready to go, really warmed up and really focused and train like really hard to do well against him. And he's a purple belt. So it's very, very difficult. They don't give out belts like easy. As a matter of fact, I won two Abu-Dabis, not a black belt. The first one, of course, was beginner and just had a good thing. But the second time I won, I was like a purple belt. Like I won, and I beat like tough guy. I beat like like the best of the best of the best guys. I beat who did I say was the toughest guy?
Doom?
Yeah, I beat Verdum in this tournament. I beat a lot of tough guys to win this tournament. I was like a purple belt because it's so hard. But I like the best. I was like the best in the world. But I didn't meet the criteria for black belt yet because I hadn't put in the time. I didn't know some of the techniques I needed to learn. So it was very difficult. So I think it's like absolutely a good school of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that gives out belts when you actually earn it. It's the very, very tough. I tell my guys this too. Out of all the students I've ever taught, I've given 3 purple belts and 1 brown belt. And all the rest only like blue, or for the kids like yellow or green, a couple green or orange. I've given 1 brown belt to Max Ball, my director of the school. And he's really good. So that shows you how difficult it is.
That.
Yeah, he's really good. So, and he's just a brown belt. He's not, a beginning brown belt, he's been a brown belt like 1 week. So, yeah.
That's cool. So the last question for you, what is the thing you are most proud of in your life?
Oh, wow. I think for sure it has to be like, I'm really proud of my kids. I have my son, not because he's a doctor, but I'm not saying, oh, he's a doctor. Like, he's a good guy. He's like a good person. He's a good my good son. He's a good person. He's a good human being. My older daughter is kind. She wants to be a psychologist, going to school to be a psychologist, and they're both in the field of like helping other people, and they're very, very concerned and loving people. My 12-year-old daughter, very kind, very active, very like cares about other people, cares about other people's feelings. And I got 2 young children now, and my 4-year-old, like I said, she's here now running around. She always says to me one of her favorite things, and we go, Dad, do you love like Mom? Do you love the blah blah? And I say, yeah, of course I love. And she says, I love everybody. Like she's very kind and like and this, and so like they're good people. So I think this is. I'm proud of that. And I think, of course, I had something, of course, to do with that. But that's I'm not the reason they are, but I have, obviously, that they see their parents care about other people, and that obviously helps them to be caring people too. God, in the world, what's the most important thing? Leo, like I have it tattooed on me. Leo Tolstoy said, most important thing in life is to serve other people, to give back to other people. And my whole career has been fighting, and it's a selfish sport. It has to be selfish. If you're worrying about this and this, and you're not concentrating, you're going to lose. You have to like be focused and train and like put all distractions aside. And it's very selfish. I was selfish for a long time, and now it's my time to give back to other people. So anyway, that I just see my children being very caring people. So that's probably the thing I'm proud of the most.
Okay. It was a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For having time for me.
Thank you.
Bye.